pretty good. He ended the game with pretty high KDA, pretty good positioning, but the problem is...
You traded for 2 picks.
Yes.
So, I think you first pick Graves here for Kakao. Instead, take it away from Xerxes. If Unicorns then go for Jhin, you take the Ashe or the Sivir or the Draven. Hans Sama has played Draven specifically against Jhin. So I don't think you need to be concerned about giving Jhin over to Unicorns. Clearly, they still value it way above like Ashe and the other AD carries, and they value it so much they first pick it.
And of course, we don't really know what's been happening in terms of the week and a bit off of scrims and training, where Misfits obviously did not go to IEM.
Take the
Unicorns
Graves again.
did. So Ashe, Graves, Malzahar was phase 1 picks for Unicorns of Love.
And we had Lee Sin as a response from Kakao to the Graves. And then they obviously went with Shen. So not Shen, Rumble.
Rumble.
In the last one. They don't have to pick the Rumble very early. They can save top lane for later. I think also stealing away Malz then is pretty smart. Because even if Tahm Kench is the answer from Unicorns of Love, you can definitely play around that very, very effectively as well. Zyra was the pick last time though from Hylissang. And it wasn't very effective. Hylissang spent most of the game dead, actually, just getting caught out.
Yeah, did not... didn't work out. Hylissang, of course, was playing the Malzahar. It was Ignar on the Zyra game 1. Sorry, you said it right first time around.
So the fact that we get Ignar on Malzahar again is key, because he was so good in the first game.
Comfort pick. He was flanking. He was abusing the lack of vision for Unicorns of Love.
Same again
matchup. Okay, so top lane is this time around, and mid lane is going to be available in the next round. We've seen Syndra banned out multiple times, as is the Katarina. Zilean as well. So a lot of these very, very targeted picks get removed from the pool, and Alphari's Rumble is taken out.
Yeah, you obviously don't need to ban Zilean or Tahm Kench now, because supports have already been locked in, so it can be full mid lane focus or top lane focus with your bans. I don't think necessarily Maokai has to be banned away here with his nerfs to the laning phase. While he's still fantastic in the late game, you can definitely punish him pretty hard early, because now Misfits have more pick potential compared to last game, which means if Misfits gets the same early advantage, they're going to start using this Malzahar to just catch Unicorns left and right, like we saw in game 1, and use that to kind of further snowball their lead. So I don't necessarily think you need to get rid of Maokai just because he is such a slow scaler.
Don't think Orianna's ban worthy, but is she first pick worthy on the side of Unicorns in phase 2?
I think, yes, she is. Because then your last pick can still be a tank who works really well with Orianna. And Orianna's just so safe in the mid lane. I don't think Power of Evil is going to pull out anything crazy to try and like counter it. Obviously, Ahri worked fine for him, but like it's a very even matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the Ahri worked well, but it wasn't enough to win for Misfits in the previous game.
That's fair.
Exile had some great shockwaves. Syndra's off the table. Katarina's off the table. Misfits have banned Gnar, they've banned Ivern. Both of them are gone. Gnar's not really likely here with the Rumble gone as well.
And before this week, Exile would just take Ryze in this pick phase here, first pick phase, especially on red side when he had first pick. He would just go Ryze every time, and it would have been such a key pick for him, but we haven't seen that today. It's been Orianna now. Again, it worked in the last game, especially once we got to late game fights. It still allows you to play Maokai last if Power of Evil plays Ahri again, because you have this point-and-click CC against a champion that relies on dashing around. So it's actually good for Unicorns to save the last pick for Chachi.
And of course, despite Power of Evil's like impressive Ahri performance, they lost the game. I want to know what Alphari plays. Does Alphari anticipate a tank, therefore play the Renekton? It is now confirmed and locked in. That's going to give him some early... I mean, look, Misfits, this screams like early to mid-game.
This screams very much game 1 to me. Get early advantage and have multiple champions that can really get yourself in a great position to then take like an early Baron and try and use it to close out the game, or at least get a big enough advantage that you're going to win. Like, this is... The mind games here is funny, because it's like, Unicorns are like, yeah, we're going to save last pick so we can go Maokai against your Ahri again if we need to. And we have the Orianna with the Shockwave on the Maokai. But then Renekton here, who will take over that lane and go for that first tower 100%, especially with Lee Sin to back him up, makes it really tricky then to pick the Maokai. Like, very risky, because you will fall behind early on the top side. This is very old school. We get some Olaf top lane against Renekton. Switching it up.
We got excited too soon. Trundle instead. A little bit more traditional, a little bit more split pushing power, but
yeah,
tough early, isn't it?
It's still tough early. Definitely still tough early. Renekton will not stack a ton of armor and MR on his first 2 items. It's like Tiamat, Black Cleaver we're looking at, and then Hydra obviously coming in. So it's not like the Trundle ulti is extremely effective against Misfits comp. And Trundle can struggle in a lane like this, especially because Lee Sin can set up some pretty effective ganks against a no-dash top laner.
Well, last time we saw that here in EU was Flaxish playing that Trundle a little while ago. Let's say it didn't work out too well for him there. But Vizicsacsi in this matchup will have more tools available to him, especially with Xerxes on this Graves.
Yeah, but again, like Graves, obviously, is like the perfect way for you to play Graves is be super strong in the jungle, like farm as much as possible, hit level 6 and be insane in skirmishes. It's not necessarily having to like babysit a lane with ganks. You can definitely gank early with Graves, you have your dash in, a lot of burst damage, but it's not as effective as certain other junglers, and you really want to focus on farming.
All right, focus on farming. In the previous game, there was the mission get Xerxes ahead by using the Raptor Camp from the IAM meta that we learned while pressuring the enemy Raptor Camp.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see that again?
He can definitely still start Raptor Camp. He doesn't get the same kind of leash because there's no saplings for Maokai. You can use Orianna, fall over the wall to give him a little bit of a leash as well. So definitely still an option for him. It didn't work last time because he got caught out and had to flash away.
It's a deciding game, ladies and gentlemen, between the Unicorns of Love and Misfits.
They're all asleep.
It is the 3rd week of cross-group play in Europe. And hopefully some excitement on the Rift. We'll get those golf claps. We'll get those golf claps. Give us a little bit more energy.
All right, so Misfits again. Very, very strong early to mid game. Ton of pick potential. And we get the same thing with this Renekton. I really like Renekton right now. I think he's really fun to watch, and I like seeing teams play around topside.
It's so fun to watch. Oh, baited and outsmarted. We can't watch him yet. I'm not too disappointed by this because I want to pose an idea to you, Deficio. At the beginning of the series, I said this was sort of the official battle for second place, right?
Right.
Based on series wins, losses. If we only had one group in Europe, Misfits would be ahead of UOL because their game difference is better. They have won 8 games more than they've lost, all right? And Unicorns have won 7. This series, do you think it cements Misfits as a second-place team? Do you think they're still even with UOL?
Well, the thing is, I want to watch H2K after IEM as well before I want to lock down who is the second-best team in Europe. But I think if Misfits take... I mean, that's the thing about BO3, right? We get a winner. So technically, we can then say, yeah, Misfits right now are stronger than Unicorns if they beat them. And the other way around, if Unicorns win this series, I think just... Even if one team is slightly better than the other one, like technically
it's
right now...
It's very close.
Yeah, it's very close. So it's not enough for it to matter.
Yeah.
What really matters is the fact that, especially with Misfits, we see this progression all the time. We want to keep seeing it because they still have a few weeks before playoffs. And if they can keep working on whatever issues they have and just keep improving as a team, then coming into playoffs, they might look like the clear second-best team in Europe. I'm not going to put them above G2 yet, but that's the thing, like, if you just take like the last few weeks and how teams have been improving, then Misfits is above Unicorns and H2K. But we got to look at the full season, and that's where it's even.
And how they actually perform in that series, right? Because Unicorns of Love came up against G2. Number 2 versus number 1. Or rather, it was actually respective
1-1,
1 and 1. That was to determine who was the best in Europe. And Unicorns, they botched it, right at the Nexus in Game 2. They denied us that Game 3 special. Just to give you an update, there are some keyboard-related matters that Hans Sama and the tech guys are looking into right now. So once they get that resolved. So this Game 3, obviously incredibly exciting to determine the technical number 2. But H2K are a team who have also shown progression. Like Nuclear and Che is the guys I'll look at specifically, who week to week to week just look to be developing more synergy, seem to be interacting with the team more.
I mean, that was kind of our story coming into this specific series, how we felt like out of the 4 top teams, the only one who hadn't really shown a lot of progression just now, like in the last 2 weeks, were the Unicorns of Love. because they've been playing against a lot of tough teams and they've been losing them, and obviously that always exposes some weaknesses. And then we now have to give them time to obviously show that they can work on these problems and then fix them. So we can't just call them out or anything.
Yes,
it's more
exactly.
the other 3 teams have been showing a bit more, like H2K made the semi-final, super close series against Flash Rolls where
they should have won.
that second game, I think you and me,
fight.
we both cried at that last team fight
And
because that was a 2-0.
The thing with H2K, right, when you look at their performance throughout many of the weeks, you can point to single errors, right? You can point to monumental mistakes, Baron throws, or team fight misplays.
They make it very easy to see, yes.
Yes, and the rest of the game looks very, very good, very clean. And it's just very interesting. Whereas Unicorns of Love, on the other hand, they have so many different types of mistakes, but they do so many different things so well.
Yep.
It's hard to say where Unicorns should be improving, but those are the things you got to look at when you have these 4 teams vying for the top of the table. And we're 4 and a bit weeks away now from playoffs. Mm-hmm. You're starting to run out of time to fix those problems. If you want to make a deep run, if you want to represent Europe at MSI, go to Brazil and try to do better than G2 historically have done.
Won't be too tough, I guess. They need 3 wins instead of 2 wins.
They set the bar pretty low.
Hey,
so.
that's a good thing, you know. We can go in and get a 3rd win, and we're gonna cheer so much. But I think just generally with the playoffs coming up, because we have these 4 top teams that have been just a level above everyone else, it almost looks like it's just kind of locked in stone who's going to play semifinals.
Yes.
But once you get to BO5s, and that 1 to 2 weeks prep coming into playoffs, so many things can always change. And then suddenly a Splice or Fnatic surprise us, and one of these 4 top teams, even though they've been sitting there for 10 weeks, suddenly don't make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, that's where things become really spicy and interesting. BO3 becomes BO5. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back onto the Rift. Keyboard is hopefully functioning as expected, and taking a quick look.
Deleted some software, and now they're ready.
Taking a look down some of the spells and team compositions, just as a reminder, again, Misfits looking to get a spicy advantage in the early game.
What is a spicy advantage, Trevor? Is that a goal lead? Is it a flashy plays?
Why not both?
Sure, give me both.
Why not both? Kakao and Lee Sin, he can do flashy plays. Power of Evil and Ari, he can do flashy plays.
Definitely true. We saw some of them last game. So, leash for Kakao on bottom side, and then we get actually Chachi helping out Xerxes here. So he does get a bit of a leash. Not the saplings we saw before, and it's the same thing again. Start on the Raptors, get them instantly down so they can respawn quickly and then maybe contest enemy ones. But this is Kakao adapting from game 2 to 3. So by him starting bot side with the leash from Malzahar with Voidlings, he can then instantly get to his Raptors as well. And therefore Xerxes won't get a chance to come in and actually contest it, because as we saw in the mid lane, Orianna can push Ari early. So Exile's going to push in Power of Evil. Then Xerxes is going to invade the Raptors, and then they're going to dance and have a party.
We're going to see something in whether or not Xerxes is forced to flash. I am seeing a small pause here, technical delay, as the keyboard may still be the matter. I don't have confirmation of that just yet. I will update you guys.
So you're lying to people
as soon as I hear more.
Fake news?
When the pause came in, I could actually see Hans Sommer fiddling with the hardware, so I'm making an assumption.
Boom, we're ready though. We're getting back in game, Trevor. This keyboard is fine.
It's just a tease. It's just a tease. Building tension, building excitement. All right, adaptation from Kakao. So Raptor and then the potential contest.
Yeah,
over
but now
Raptor.
the contest is gone, you know,
no
because
more.
Kakao adapted, started on bottom side instead. He can gank early on top side. If Chachi is in the middle of the lane or slightly overextended, then it's a fairly easy setup with Renekton stun onto Chachi and then connect Sonic Wave with the Lee Sin, and boom, that's a kill. You already see some of the early trading, which is in favor of Alphari. Trundle always needs time. He's never that strong in the early game, the start of the laning phase, where Renekton is fantastic. So it's a tricky matchup. I feel like Chachi's picking here, but clearly he feels confident he can get to that late game stage where he will just dumpster Renekton.
Well, the weather report says thunder's on the horizon. Misfits gonna try to do what they can to take advantage. Big trades on this bottom lane as Xerxes. Is he actually coming into gank? It doesn't look like it. Samux sidesteps the flourish. And Hans Sommer running out of ammo, but Xerxes very nearby if a fight were to break out.
Yeah, and also Xerxes didn't see that the crooks have been taken by Lee Sin, so obviously Kakao is on top side of the map and he can call that to his team. So we see Kakao sitting in the brush up there. while Xerxes sitting down bot lane. There's a ward to TP potentially from Chachi, but that would be a crazy early TP.
Oh, so much pressure. Xerxes gets
Diving this
spotted
early,
out.
it's so
Look
hard.
at the top tower. Look at the top tower. Kakao and Alphari, they're going in. Ruthless Predator for the stun. That locks up Chachi. He flashes away. Alphari takes 2 tower shots, and the dive has been thwarted. They get
They're
the
zoning
summoner
them.
spell. Now down in the bottom lane. Hylissang, Xerxes, and Samux are fighting forward. There's no damage on Samux, so he's not rooted by a flourish. Denying the CS, getting some damage. Flash forward, traded for Ignar. We go to the top lane. First blood picked up on Achachi. It's not over yet. Down in the bottom lane. Hylissang is being burned down. End of the line. Dash forward, exhaust, root sidestep, flash by everybody. Throw the kitchen sink at them. Hans Summers now trying to turn it back around.
We need to see if Unicorn still have minions. Okay, they got 2 minions now. They can walk out. Otherwise, they will be very tough. Oh,
Oh, Hans Summer shuts down Samux.
So Misfits, in the end, win the trade because they get that kill top lane we mentioned.
Deficio, this is
Ganking for Kakao.
the
Nah,
EU
red
meta.
fire.
The EU
I like it.
meta.
I love the dirty farming, man. They were sitting between 2 towers at 4 minutes mid lane.
Look at that flashy play. Charm onto Exile. He's going to get run down. It's Kakao that kills Exile.
Yeah, love their little mind games there. Kakao doesn't even use his Q because he knows Exile will try and flash it. Exile knows he can't flash before Kakao uses the Q because otherwise he will just get hit after. And that's why he ends up dying without using anything. This was a second gank, or second dive. So they still have a few minions. They go all in for Ignar, no flash. A little bit late on the exhaust, if we have to call that out. And then Hans Sama charging up, getting the crit. One more hit, boom, crit is ready. Waits for cooldown on Q. And poor Samax being left behind. Nice flash though.
Even flash the root.
I love it.
So good.
Really huge for Misfits, honestly, because now every single lane has gotten a kill. And we mentioned how the early game is really, really strong with this comp and how they have so many lanes that can actually snowball out of control. Like Malzahar lanes are fantastic at doing that with his ulti. Ahri, of course, as an assassin in the mid lane. Renekton top lane. Like, we're going to see Renekton get first turret very, very often now that he's back in the meta. And Kakao and Alphari together have shown great synergy so far in this series. Whenever they've gone top lane to do something, they've killed a guy.
Yes.
And it tends to be Chachi who's the guy. But
Well, there's not many other people that will be there at this
well, maybe
stage.
Xerxes was kind of up there saying hello, and he would die too.
Well, everybody on Misfits, their flash blown with the exception of Kakao for a second. Just came off cooldown. Early Tiamat picked up.
Wait, where's Power Evil going? He's level
Accelerate.
6. This Trundle is
Oh, Chachi.
being put in the dumpster so far. And now
Control
Power Evil
wards.
and Kakao.
Gonna deny the vision. Chachi respecting the potential.
Revenge dirty farming. Now they're between the terrorists being like, nah. If our bot lane didn't get anything, then you're not getting anything. It's like back with Pokemon cards when you would trade and cheat with someone. And like you cheat him and like get a really good trade. Then you would always call his big brother who would come and tell you, no, that trade is not happening. And you wouldn't get the Charizard.
No, you never did.
You never did because the big brother would always show up. And Alphari is the big brother right now.
Our 21st birthday of Pokemon was earlier this week. Did you feel old when you think about that? Tower first blood picked up by the Renekton lane. As expected, Hans Sama and Ignar respecting the big brother Xerxes from Unicorns of Love, backing away from that bottom turret, and they're going to trade 1-for-1. But look at the mini-map, guys. It actually looks like Alphari and Kakao getting some damage onto this inner turret top, but they've got no minions to work with. So, unfortunately, it'll just be a few autos before they're forced to back away.
Yeah, and I wanted to say when Trundle was logged in and being like, you know what, I trust Chachi here and his knowledge of this matchup, but luckily I didn't actually say that just there because it was more like, this seems really risky against like a jungler who can gank you, a champion that can set up ganks so easily as Renekton can, like double dash into a stun against no dashes on a Trundle, like you're pretty doomed. And so far, it's been heavily in favor of Misfits, obviously with them camping topside. Still want to see what it is Chachi can do later with this Trundle, but it's going to take a lot of time when he's being put this far behind.
If he gets the time. Misfits do not
Yeah.
want to give him the chance. The earliest tower first blood of the split was this game in the top lane. Thank you, Stats team, for letting me know that. And Alphari now starting to apply this pressure elsewhere. He's got no tower to push. And the wave is going to be able to come to him and maybe he can even teleport back up there.
I mean, this is always one of the good things when you get early top tower is you can push it out as a top laner, and then by the time the other guy is pushing it back, you could have left and gone to like another lane, dragon, bot lane, whatever, and you just suddenly apply pressure elsewhere. And that's one of the key things. Like, when you enable a top laner by taking his tower, the way for him to, kind of snowball the game is by going to other lanes then after pushing out his lane. He doesn't add vision or anything, he just adds pressure. And that's what Alphari is doing. Too many top laners, they stay top lane then. They're like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep pushing out top and then back and push it again, back again. Then you don't use the advantage. Alphari just did it perfectly here, getting bot tower. Can TP back and catch this entire wave once he recalled.
All right, he's gonna back off, finishes the recall a moment ago, starts channeling the TP, so Chachi will get about 50% of that HP down. Ninja Tabby to back up the Phage and Longsword here for Alphari. He's even gonna extend that CS advantage that he built up early on, and 2 towers to 1. Misfits, they used that early game chaos to their advantage. They've also got some map control. Looking at vision though, as I change topic abruptly.
Okay.
Unicorns have got themselves some wards in the map in the early game.
But what about the weather, Trevor? What about the weather today? It was raining a lot.
No, it's thunderstorms.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
true, yeah.
Yes, so we're going to see the thunderstorms dashed away from. But that's just trading ultimate for ultimates.
All right, I like it still. Power of Evil doesn't need to kill anyone right now. Can use it defensively because you're winning both side lanes, mainly through Renekton. So once again, you see Alphari here. Push out top lane. His goal is not to kill the top tier 2 tower right now. It would take him a long time. But he can dive to Trundle again if he gets help. That's why if you look at your minimap, Kakao is on the way. And if they kill Chachi, suddenly that tower is available. Or you start roaming from top down to mid lane. Oh, Chachi, my friend.
No, there is a flash available. He throws down the Subjugate already. Ruthless Predator and Dominus. Flash away from Chachi, flash forward, and the dash from Alphari. And they make that look relatively simple. With the help of Kakao, this tower's going to drop low. There's another minion lane coming in.
Yeah, and it's always cross-mapping now if you're the Unicorns of Love. Bot lane tower is their objective, but they might only get the turrets. They're not getting the kills that the Misfits are picking up right now, so they will always slightly lose out on these trades. Mid lane as well is now open because the top lane can roam down. Exile cannot really defend this safely. You can see him on your minimap hovering to the bottom side. He's just stepping out of the picture here because he knows he can otherwise get killed from behind.
Yeah, so it's not only a tower trade, but Misfits get themselves a kill and another. The Ash Arrow absorbed by Malzahar's passive. Ignar just tanking that one up for his team. All right, Unicorns, they haven't given up though. 10 minutes, look like they're going to take this inhibitor tower down. Minions coming in.
But can they avoid a fight? Because they will get the tower. So again, teams are trading right now. 3 guys have to now run away, but they're getting flanked.
No Ash Arrow available, no Stranglethorns available. Teleport coming down for Visit Chachi. This is going to become a little scary. Xerxes on the side lane. Charm, I think, connected there onto Exile. And with the use of a teleport, they get out clean. The base is open. It's not a huge deal right now, but it is additional. A little bit of gold, a little bit of pressure, and opportunities later.
Yeah, definitely not in their favor getting an inhib turret for a mid tower at 11 minutes.
Oh, look at the Charm. Exile caught out. Orbit Deception. Rushing forward. Shockwave catches only Kakao. And, wow, Power of Evil with only a lost chapter dealt all that much damage.
It's a bit like in game 1 and start of game 2 where Power of Evil are getting the early advantage over Exile. With this Ahri here, he's able to catch him a few times and get quite a few kills over to Misfits, but as we see the replay, beautiful play honestly, like no panic or anything, just instant lands the Charm. Exile ends up not flashing that one, and generally you shouldn't get hit by that like full range skill shot. Because that's the only way Power of Evil can actually kill you, so you should expect it to happen.
Power of Evil went back to base with 3,000 gold.
Protobelt, baby.
Picks himself up a belt.
Sadly, it's like, oh, this build was so cool before Protobelt got nerfed. But now, like, it's still, it's Snowball. It's a Snowball build, like extra mobility, extra burst when you do go in. But it's not as effective as it's been in the past. It's definitely still good enough to kill squishy members. And there's a lot of them. There's 4 of them on the side of Unicorns. But as I was saying before with this bot lane inhib, like, it looks fancy. Oh, look at that. We got the inhib turret, super early, a lot of pressure. Like, no, actually now it's a dead lane for you. Because there's now no turret that's actually going to push this one back fast enough. So the waves are going to be super, like, massively built up near that inhib if Unicorns have a slow push going that some of our Misfits can just walk down and pick up. And trading that for a mid tower is just not worth it this early in the game because you're never going to get that inhib for another 15-20 minutes. And this mid tower is exactly what Misfits wants because it opens up the entire map and it gives them obviously a lot of gold, and now suddenly they have all outer turrets down in a composition where you're winning multiple lanes. It's all in favor of Misfits.
I really like the discussion around was killing that tower, like how bad was it? Well, try catch those lanes as they slowly push down to the in here, because that's the next level of communication and understanding of strategy, isn't it?
But again, yeah.
Realizing the problems you can cause yourself, thinking, oh, but it's just a tower. No, it's not just a tower at 10 minutes.
And it all actually comes down to Unicorns just being slightly behind when it came to getting these turrets. So they realized we can't actually stop the mid lane from dying. So we just have to get something. Let's get this thing in front of us, which is the turret, and that's fine if you consider they want to just try and trade. But being in that situation in the first place, all starts in the top lane with Alphari having that pressure, killing Chachi, taking turret, and suddenly roaming down to mid, and that just put Unicorns really far behind in the play.
Yeah, UOL were behind the play earlier in the game. That cost them towers. Now they're behind the play in mid lane. Misfits get some damage onto that inner turret. For those of you who've just joined us, Power of Evil and Kakao have been dunking on UOL this game, just like that.
Yeah.
And in game one, it was early game plays like this that allowed Misfits to really run away with the first victory in the series. Unicorns need to desperately defend. Down 4,000 gold.
But this is game one all over again,
Yes.
where the pick potential is so much in favor of Misfits, with Malzahar as well. And Unicorns, they cannot get defensive vision up. It just gets cleared up by Misfits instantly, and it's such an important aspect of the game, the vision control. What really separates the best teams from some of the worst teams is understanding where to ward, how to clear wards, and everything. And it's going to be so heavily in favor of Misfits again, so Unicorns are going to play blind.
And that's what our Unicorns are doing. They have some defensive vision in the top quadrant of their jungle. There's a control ward that I think Kakao should walk over shortly.
Joke,
Just
never check
missed
the
it.
brush.
Just missed it. But either way, there is some vision for UOL. But it's simply not enough just yet. 4 towers to 3, 4,000 gold lead for Misfits. Unsummer, the lone defender in the mid lane until Kakao and Ignor make their way around from the side. And just like game one, Deficio, vision and lack of vision for UOL allowed Ignor to roam and get flanks. Let's see if we can do it again.
Exactly, and obviously it's not just blaming Unicorns here, because it is very difficult once you're behind. It's also full credit to Misfits in terms of how they are actually denying the vision from Unicorns of Love. So it goes both ways. A team can not ward properly, but another team can also be really good at getting rid of those wards.
And also, step back for a second, right? Like, Unicorns of Love's players have had 2 post-game discussions with their support staff. And I love to try and track how much a team can change within a series, how much they can learn. Watching Kakao adapt to that Raptor start that Xerxes did in game 2 is an example of adapting between games. Now we look at the same scenario. Malzahar, blind, vision. And UOL, how do they do it? Because, as you said, Deficio, it is game 1 all over again, which Misfits won a little slower than maybe we would have liked, but that's being super nitpicky.
Yeah, they were in control the entire game, like they've been in this game here as well. It was a bigger goal lead in game 1, though. We had 10k at 20 minutes. We can still get there, but doesn't look to be exactly the same right now. But heavily in favor of Misfits. They have Renekton once again taking control of one lane, Power of Evil and Ahri taking control of the other lane, and then you're kind of just playing now, waiting for neutral objectives to spawn. Like, you want the Drakes to come up, so you can now get your Infernal. This time, Karma, you know, in favor of Misfits, they get an Infernal. And then you wait for Baron to spawn, and we get to 25 minutes, and you start playing around the Baron and use that as your way to kind of win the game. So that's kind of the thing for Misfits. It is difficult to kind of further snowball it at this point without risking, you know, plays. Because having 3 lanes pushed in at 17 minutes and diving turrets, it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but if there were a team that may consider it, I think Misfits would be one of them.
You can definitely, if you get a one-on-one situation, or like Kakao joins the one-on-one to kind of make it a 2v1 in favor of Misfits, then you can definitely do it, which is what they're doing now. Like, you can see, Ignor was hiding in a brush between the 2 lanes, mid and bot lane, to kind of spot members and potentially catch one.
Look at the zoning potential.
Here we have him. So this simply means, like, this is just great 1v1.
Yeah.
Like, the support and jungler are taking over the enemy jungle near the lane you're putting pressure, which is the bottom lane.
Goal between the uprights.
I agree.
And the tower's going to fall as well.
I mean, again, that's just
It's
beautiful 1-3-1.
Great strategy, great macro play here from Misfits. Really understanding the pressure points, those control wards playing into their favor. Talking about control wards, that single ward for UOL behind the red buff is still there. It's not meaningful at all.
Right.
But I like tracking it.
Of course.
And it's a teleport opportunity for Chachi if he had it, which he does not because he TP'd somewhere. I didn't quite see where, unfortunately. Now Hylissang. Phew, that was brave.
But notice again how Misfits are just getting everything. It all starts with having push in the lanes, and especially mid lane, so Unicorns can't push out and like threaten a tower or threaten to roam to a lane. And then you have jungle support just hovering in between, just saying like, you're not gonna get in here. If you get in here in this jungle, Malzahar will ult you and Kakao will kill you. So Exile literally had to sit back and be like, I can't defend my tower. Like, I literally cannot defend my tower right now.
Well, Unicorns have not been able to defend any of their towers. Kakao, with a lot of support from Alphari and PoE, dove Chachi so many times. I mean, look at Kakao, 3-0-3. He's kind of led the charge on where pressure's fallen over. They transferred pressure top to bottom, and now they're putting all that pressure middle.
Yeah, and then after middle, you put it top if you want to. If you want to get another kill on Chachi, if you want to get Baron Vision very soon. Hylissang trying to create a pick here. Simply just too late, and now there's the top lane pressure with the Rift Herald. Just great, like, bot lane, we get everything we want on the bottom side. Infernal Drake, tower, go mid, go top, and then Baron becomes the next. Exile might get caught. Slowly.
So much damage on Exile. Power of Evil's chasing forward, and Exile flashes and gets a heal and exhausts, and Curtain Call now tagging onto Xerxes, looking at Kakao on the sideline. Coming in, Vizichachi now gets locked down in place. Nethergrasp actually booted out of it.
Yeah, Kakao making sure Ansama can't steal that kill.
And negating some of that damage. Misfits, 8 kills to 1 at 20 minutes. It's 6,500 gold. Unicorns are running out of structures to fall back to.
Yeah. That means Misfits are running out of structures to kill right now and just have to kind of wait for Baron. Good exhaust from Exile, but nice setup from Power of Evil. And at this point here, no one from Unicorns can actually fight because Exile is low. Everyone from Misfits is on their way. Good flash, and then we see actually Chachi try and join, but this Trundle is so useless. Like, he's been dove 5 times. He needs like still not 20 minutes before he's doing anything.
If we were to ask a pro player, would you say the Trundle is trolling?
Yeah.
Is that what we go?
I think Trundle has just been useless.
So Fisher, I have a question for you, and I'll be impressed if you know the answer. During weeks 1 through 5 of the European LCS, how many kills did Alphari secure?
I'm gonna say the lowest amount of any top laner in Europe.
No, I want a number. I'll tell you, I'll give you that number. It was 18 kills.
Was it the lowest?
I don't know. We'll have to check with Stats team.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of derailing my story here.
Oh, sorry.
The follow-up to that, if Alphari finds 3 more kills, he will equal his previous 5-week kills. He's on 15 right now. 3 more equals all of the kills he got between weeks 1 and 5. And if a team were to give them to you, it's gonna be Unicorns. Team fight.
I like that Alphari is like, okay, great, Maokai is nerfed. I don't have to play that garbage anymore. So he's gone Renekton, Rumble, Renekton. They've been playing around his lane. They've been setting him up to actually get these kills and be a carry. And he's taking it. He's been able to do well in all 3 games. Like, he's Rumble ulti were fantastic in the last one.
Here comes Alphari. We're looking for 3 kills.
Nope.
He's going to get turned into a pair of shoes, potentially. Decides to run away. Damn it, Alphari, that doesn't meet my story.
Well, going away. He has time. Knowing Misfits, we'll be here for another, like, about 15, 16 minutes. They need 2 Barons as well. That is a lot of time for Alphari to get kills.
And watching Alphari this split, he was the most hyped top laner coming from Challenger that we've seen in a while. Hylissang gonna throw down the Stranglethorns. It doesn't work out. Alphari's jumped onto him. Slices and dices backwards, using that Kolamik to try find sustain. Kakao's got a kick available. He boots Xerxes. Didn't do a whole lot. Charm goes wide thanks to a flash. So managing to dodge the skill shots, and this fight has turned a little bit messy. Where's the Shockwave from Exile? Still available. Good Charm onto Chachi. He's now going to flash defensively.
Misfits is also not giving Exile any chances to actually Shockwave multiple members. They're completely spread out. Notice how far he dove in, sees in one target, and dove back out with Slice and Dice. Didn't want to risk going down and didn't want to fully commit to the fight. They're just playing like these, like, really scattered fights where an Orianna who wants people just grouping, like we saw Faker earlier, just get like that 6 Shockwave. That's not happening if you're playing like completely spread out like Misfits are. We talked about waiting for the Baron. It's now alive. They're not hitting this ward because it's disabled right now. They don't want to give away they're actually on the Baron. That's why they're not killing it. So this is the correct call. And it is very clean to finish. Can they kick out Xerxes?
Xerxes coming in. Asher goes down. Unicorns of love. They steal Baron from the best Baron team in Europe.
All right, the entire Misfits Baron, no one steals the story. Unicorns just killed it. That was the Colorcast's dream story in Europe, where we get so many 50-50 Barons.
Evil. Nah, don't know he's in trouble yet. Got Spur Rush available if he needs to use that to escape.
Oh, this is so huge for
Taking some
Unicorns.
tower. Unicorns, they turn it around. All of the early game plays, all of the advantage thrown away. Exile is going to use the exhaust. Nethergrass comes out. Kakao kills Exile. But Unicorns bite off a little more than they can chew.
We were a second away from Misfits finishing the Baron. There was a control ward from Unicorns behind it, so they didn't know Xerxes was coming and when he would appear near the Baron, and that's why he went in and he managed to steal it. So great play from him. Super important for the Unicorns of Love, because the game would basically been over. See, there's no vision behind Baron, so they don't know where Xerxes coming in from, like when he's coming or anything. Jumps in, boom, steals it, nice burst. Plus the smite. For now, the story is dead. We might resurrect it soon. We might resurrect it like next Baron or next game.
We have to see. I mean, Misfits still, the setup was good. The play was good. They just lacked one ward.
Ah, yeah,
One
it was
little
so close.
One little
Again,
ward.
good steal from Xerxes being the hero. It doesn't really change the flow of the game because Misfits still have all the same advantages in terms of pick potential. And they're using it.
All right, Hylissang's going to be the target. Alphari needs to find this kill secure. 5 is the magic number, but it's Hans Sama that secures it.
He needs 3 more.
He needs 3 more. So when Alphari gets to 5 kills, he will equal his previous record. And Deficio, you said it was the lowest number of kills for all top laners. I'm so happy to tell you you're wrong. He was the second lowest.
Second lowest. All right, fine.
You're pretty good though. Well played. As Misfits do not care about Unicorn's Baron buff. They're still 5,000 gold up. They're still 5k gold up. But with Unicorns, maybe buying some time.
And again, Misfits are getting Infernals this time around when they're the team getting the early Drakes. The last game was Unicorns with double Infernal and Mountain. Fantastic setup. Double Infernal now for Misfits as well in this game. Definitely can't complain. And Samox on this Ashe, I don't think he has QSS just yet. And yeah, face check Ahri means you would die in Season 2, Season 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7.
I mean, you can just say you die.
You
face check Ahri as ADC.
Yeah. You
Especially in 2017, you die.
Yeah. You just die. That's
and of course, Hylissang gets caught out as well. Now, Unicorns can't afford those mistakes. Exile died when they tried to push the mid tower. Watching Samox and Hylissang die while they dance around a dragon that really wasn't going to happen.
Right.
You can't afford to lose those Baron buffs and give up even more control to Misfits.
No, that's true. And I wish we could sit here and say, hey, don't worry. They have this like sick team fight and comp late game with the Maokai who delivered a shockwave. It's going to be great. They can win late game fights. We sadly can't say that because Trundle just doesn't offer the same that Maokai offers. Like, Trundle delivering the ball is kind of like you see him run at you. It's much easier to react. He doesn't have the same sort of tanky capabilities as CC, and that makes it harder for Unicorns to win fights late game here. And obviously them being behind also makes it really difficult.
It does indeed. Hylissang didn't even get a chance to face check. He was killed before it. That's 1 down for Misfits, increasing their tally to 12. Double kill for Power of Evil. Kakao shut down in the back end as Vizicsacsi gets 1 for himself. Alphari's looking to engage. So far it's a 1 for 2. Unicorns are running away. Still 5,000 gold down, and the pick power is so high.
Yeah, might be enough for Misfits to get some damage on the mid turret here, but there is still wave clear from Xerxes on the way back. Kakao is fairly low. Had to obviously sees GA being popped, and there's the Graves wave clear we mentioned, and then suddenly this tower is staying alive.
It is indeed. Exhaust goes down into Xerxes. Ignite forced to flash away from the tower. Unicorns of Love fancy their chances. Vizicsacsi's getting burned down low. He's rooted in place. Flash forward. Hans Sama gets the kill credit. Alphari locks down Xerxes with a Ruthless Predator. He slices once. I think he has dice available. Wasn't quite tracking it. He's going to get slowed. Dominus runs out. Ashe continues to chase. There's a lot of damage. Hylissang needs to find some CC. Edge of Night's going to block at least the Stranglethorns. Kakao gets away, and it looks like so does Alphari.
So in the end, Unicorns of Love do not manage to pick up another kill, and it's just Vizicsacsi going down. Let's see the fight again. This is the vision control we mentioned from game 1, where Ignite is hiding with the control ward. They catch out Hylissang. That's an early kill in favor of Misfits, and while Exile does get a very good shockwave on Power of Evil, he does go down, and Unicorns simply cannot fight. when they're this far behind against Misfits. And that's just, again, that makes it so difficult because you're already down in gold, you're down in Drakes, you're down basically everything.
Yeah.
And your team comp is actually not that much stronger when it comes to late game team fighting. It is very, very tricky.
It is indeed. It's almost 30 minutes to Fisher. And now you've mentioned that it's not the greatest of team fight comps.
I mean, Unicorns is still, it's a strong late game comp,
Yes.
but it's not as easy to execute as the one we saw with the Maokai, and that's why I
It's
can't...
more easily read. It's more easily
yeah,
read.
yeah.
Like you can anticipate when that shockwave is coming in.
It's also hard, man, playing Shockwaves again. If you think about it, 3 dashes on Ahri, crazy mobility always from Lee Sin, double dash from a Renekton. Like, it is so rare Misfits ever have a reason to be like grouped up that a Shockwave can actually hit multiple members. It might still happen, but it's not gonna happen up.
Maybe another Baron mistake. Maybe Misfits make another Baron mistake and destroy everything we built coming into this series about how good they were on Baron. That was our main narrative for the team.
Well, luckily they were still good before with Baron, so like the story was true.
Baron stolen to Fisher.
That's the problem, you know. We like to just have one story we can reuse for every team. And then we hope it's new viewers every week so they don't realize we're just repeating the same story.
Stop telling our secrets, damn
I know,
it.
I just revealed it.
Tricks of the trade.
Ah, Alphari!
Alphari's caught out. Shockwave pulls him backwards. Every single ultimate. Unicorns of Love get one. Sheepy's clapping.
Yeah, did you
Off
guys know?
screen.
Second lowest kills for top laners is Alphari before this series. Not anymore.
Doing very well for himself. Kakao's trying to pull the wave. This is very clever. It denies UOL the opportunity to push onto that inner turret as a 5-man squad. Teleport not available for Alphari on his 25-second death timer.
Big Purple Worm is alive. Kakao is behind enemy lines, and Unicorns are actually healthy enough to start it. They're doing the same thing again, where Chachi, with Teleport, is not sitting in a side lane. He's spending a ton of time with the team in the mid lane, and they're trying to run at this 5-man unit and like force a fight. But on Trundle, he needs to sit in the side lane. That is how he creates pressure. That's how he adds value in the late game, by being a split-pushing monster. We want to see him stick to it right now. See if he can take some duels against Alphari and get some pressure for Unicorns.
That'll be fun to watch.
It would.
Not a huge amount of armor on the side of Chachi yet. Got himself that Sheen, Titanic Hydra, and Spirit Visage on the other side. Black Cleaver,
Right.
Randuin's, Tiamat, and a Chain Base for Alphari.
And that's kind of another thing now for Chachi, because he's spending so much time with the team. That's why he's itemized for MR fairly early, because it's against Power of Evil and Ignore. If he was actually just focusing on what Trundle normally would, which is like split pushing, armor would be his go-to choice against Lee Sin and Renekton. Just get as much armor early as possible.
Well, another potential face check here on the side of UOL. Sonic Wave goes wide, visit Chachi. There's no QSS available. Subjugate will buy some time if it's needed. Isn't going to find a target, unfortunately. And UOL, I think if we can look at their vision, you know, not working with the deepest river wards. I'm looking in that top quadrant, those 2 controls.
But they do have the Rift Guard lock. It just ran out now, so they knew Misfits couldn't be on Baron from before. And that's why they know, okay, we just have to stay around the mid lane. They're hiding in there. Oh, to get Power Evil!
He does indeed. Wow, he's gone already. Exile still has Shockwave available. 5 versus 4.
Last game, it was a few seconds on Exile's flash, and he died. This time it was Power of Evils. They're going for more.
Unsummons the target. Collateral
Nice
damage
flank.
already burned through. Stranglethorns buy some time. Hylissang's continuing to push them away. Alphari's already dropped low. Unsummer gets a kill on Hilly though, but they've zoned him enough for Alphari to go down. The tower is the focus.
They're gonna get it as well, Trevor. Ignite's behind them. No ulti for about 10-15 seconds.
Is this an inhibitor? 20
not enough
seconds
time.
and then
Oh.
35. Here comes Ignite from behind. Hans Summers coming from the base. It's a 3-on-4. Shockwave still up for Exile.
Yeah, Misfits might lose the inhibs, but they're gonna look for kills to then take a Baron after. They're waiting for that Malza ulti. It's up in just a few seconds.
Unicorns of Love at 32 minutes have taken down 2 inhibitors. 15 seconds before Alphari is respawned. Power of Evil looking to put some pressure down as well. And all of a sudden, this game has gone bonkers.
Oh, what a turnaround. It really just started with Samax hitting the arrow on Power of Evil with 2 seconds left on his flash. And he dies. Here's a TP from Alphari.
Alphari, this is the fight we wanted,
Well, they want to rush Baron.
but we won't see.
Oh, he smacked into the wall.
Failed it. We saw that. Asharo's sidestep by everyone at Misfits. All right, Misfits has started off. Remember when we said how Misfits need to group up, or could group up? Mizuchachi's gonna go down, just locked down through that nether grasp. 5 members of Misfits now. Curtain Call being fired off by Hans Sama. He's run out of targets to shoot. 4,500 HP on Baron. This is getting messy. Power of Evil's gonna run down Hylissang. That's not a fair fight. Doesn't matter.
Xerxes trying to steal again.
Xerxes, collateral damage and smite is available. 3v5. Baron is not going to be the focus. Alfari peels away. He gets killed by Exile. Kick back. Exile finds himself charmed and killed by Misfits. Samux does as well. And just as you start to believe, Unicorns throw it away.
Well, it looked pretty difficult here for Misfits, starting between Baron and disengaging, but Kakao with the sick moves secures them another kill, and they're going back for it. Xerxes full HP, hiding in the brush, not spotted. No wards behind Baron from Misfits.
Surely
they cannot see him.
He can't do it again.
Control ward on the side.
There's a ward in the pit.
But it's
just been
disabled.
blocked off.
It's disabled.
Xerxes, smite is available. Collateral's available. Is he gonna get it?
They see him with the sweeper.
He's gonna go in. No! Secured by Misfits.
Ooh, close one. They saw him with the sweeper. They knew he was there over the wall. I think the control ward on the side of the Tribals might have spotted him once or twice. Next turn did just go down, but they can defend the next one. It will get its HP back. So turn on Chachi is good here. Still tricky for Misfits because it's 4 members left for Unicorns. And I believe Power Evil dives after Hylissang while the rest is gonna aim for Baron. So it's super split up right now. It's like small individual fights everywhere.
And the strength of Unicorns is team fighting.
Yeah,
this is not team fighting.
No, but because Chachi ended up dying so early, they can't really go in for a fight. Like, Exile's trying to find the opening, but look at how Misfits moving around the Shockwave. And this move here from Kakao is huge to get Exile down. Beautiful kick with the flash.
And another perfect charm again from Power of Evil. Kakao at the end of this fight, 7-0-7 on that Lee Sin. 35 minutes into the game, and Baron on Misfits, despite losing a Nexus turret and maybe even the second, UOL, maybe their only way to pick up a win here is to find a sneaky backdoor.
Ooh, I mean, it's hard to say because when we get this late in the game with champions like Orianna, it's like that one Shockwave can just win you the entire game because the base is so open. You don't even need a full ace. If Exile gets 2 guys with this Shockwave, it might be enough for Unicorns to walk in with super minions and win the entire game. So I don't think it has to be a sneaky play. It can still be an open team fight despite being down 7k gold.
It'll be so tough. 2 Guardian Angels on the side of Misfits. Edge of Night and all their mobility from a Proto Belt Ari. Luckily for UOL, those super minions are going to delay the impact of this Baron power play, and Misfits still need to defend against these super minions.
Yeah, and I just want to give so much credit to both teams because they've made this series so insanely fun to watch. Like, so many back and forths. One game heavily in favor of Misfits, then Unicorns bounce back in the second one with the late game scaling. And this game here, despite Misfits pulling off so many good early game plays, Unicorns have found openings like that Samux arrow onto Power of Evil was so important. It gave them 2 inhibitors. One arrow gave them 2 inhibitors in the late game and kept this game alive despite Misfits being so far ahead. And of course, we also have to highlight Xerxes stealing that Baron.
Yes.
The first time Misfits have lost a Baron in such a long time to a smite steal.
And of course, that Ashe was a first rotation pick for UOL. It was a first pick Jhin for Misfits. It's something we've discussed heavily this series. We've also discussed how we enjoy watching Misfit and UOL games because they have something for everybody. Some color macro discussions, as well as some
kills.
Exciting play-by-plays. Look at that goal difference over time. As the base is now the target for Misfits.
And this is for the cycling fans who love Tour de France. It looks like one of those stages as well. We have something for everyone.
Does indeed. Who's going to wear the yellow jacket after this final push? 37 minutes into the game. Misfits are now on the inhibitor turrets. 20 minutes ago, it looked like Misfits were going to be pushing those turrets already. And Unicorns have found some fantastic team fights and some fantastic punishes. The crystal arrows used by Samux that is not available. Charm onto Chachi. Root as well. Sonic Wave not going to get followed through on, and Misfits continue the siege.
Yeah, this Trundle is still going to be a liability in fights for them. I'm just looking at Exile with his ulti, and then Xerxes on the Graves, because Graves late game have enough AoE damage to also turn around the fight. So there are definitely tools you need to respect on the side of Unicorns of Love if you are Misfits. But we see that pick potential again, like Ignar with his ulti. Like, if we count QSSs, I see 1 on the side of Unicorns of Love. When Hylissang played Malzahar in the last game, we had 3 on the side of
Yeah.
Misfits. Well, 2 and then the Alistar ulti. So Ignar right now have so many targets. Like, he can literally flash on Exile and just ult him. And Misfits should be able to follow up and kill that Orianna because Exile is not building QSS. So it's really, really tricky in these fights. If Exile is far enough back that he doesn't get hit and he can actually position the ball, he can be the MVP. If Ignar can flash and get him, he might be the MVP.
All right, this is Group A, number 2 Misfits, taking on Group B, number 1 Unicorns of Love. We're down to 40 minutes into the game. Potentially one big team fight determines the winner. There's nearly no base left for Misfits. One Nexus tower and exposed inhibitors. Despite being in the lead, despite technically being in control, they cannot afford any mistakes whatsoever. And that's why the tempo of this game is now slowed down, looking for vision. With less wards, looking to control, waiting for Baron, waiting for Elder.
Exactly.
And then playing around that objective.
We're waiting for the neutral objective because like 1-3-1ing 40 minutes into the game is almost impossible to do because you're pushing on inhib turrets. Like, you're so far down that it's very easy for the team defending to move between the lanes because the distance between an inhib to another inhib is so short, and also from the fountain out again to join a potential fight in case you drop low. So you can't really split push your way to a victory. If you're Misfits right now, you're looking for Elder Drake or Baron. You set up full control around it. We need those wards behind Baron this time. And then you look for the pick. With this Malzahar, as we just highlighted, there's only one QSS on Unicorns of Love. So Ignar, in a position where he is sitting in a river with control wards and he knows that he's not spotted, he can find that target. And they can kill whoever it is and then get a really, really good setup for Baron or potential fight. So I'm really looking at Ignar on the side of Misfits, and I'm looking at Exile on the side of Unicorns of Love with the Shockwave.
No room for error. Where are those Ash arrows as well? Samux, he's found one magic arrow this game already. Another one could open it up. The target seems to be Vizicsacsi. Teleported flash is available to him. Power of Evil looking to cut off the retreats.
This is really good timing because there's no neutral objective that Unicorns can go for, so Chachi might get caught.
All right, Chachi's going to get jumped on here. Takes so much damage. Charm as well. Subjugates, buying some time. The rest of Unicorns of Love coming through the river. Vizicsacsi, his GA's not going to get popped just yet. Continues to run away. It's Alphari that flashes. Ash Arrow finds Power of Evil, but there's no further follow-up. Curtain Call is going to lock down Samux. He's got the QSS. He's still in the firing range. Not going to get taken down. Unicorns of Love able to escape. A lot of ultimates and summoners used.
Due to no Baron alive, everyone ran to the bottom lane to join the fight. Alphari flashed out very early. I'm not sure if he was expecting an Ash Arrow. Ended up just flashing out the volley. Stayed alive though, every single member. GA saved by Vizicsacsi. That is key because that's how he can add value, by sitting and buying time in the front line. Use that GA to buy even more time. Misfits now hiding in a brush, not spotted. Flash is not available from Ignar. That is important.
No Nether Grass by. The Power of Evil needs a few more seconds before he can use the Square Rush. Shockwave found nobody. Kakao looks for Samux. He goes legendary. It's 21 kills. 4 Misfits are looking for more. Xerxes, collateral damage to safety. Kakao Sonic Wave. The Lee Syndrome is strong today. Exile's rooted in place. Shut down by Power of Evil. Kakao's not done yet. He's looking for Xerxes. GA gets popped. Ignar throws down a ward for Vision. Where's the rest of Unicorns? They're running for their lives. Ignar and Kakao will run down Xerxes. Oh, the Void and
pick a door.
Pick a door, any door. Kakao, no Ignar gets the kill. It's up to Alphari. He needs 5 kills to equal his previous 5 weeks. And who's going to get the credit?
Oh.
Who's going to get the credit? Ding, ding, ding,
It won't be Alphari, man. Ah! No,
Misfits
Kakao, of
with
course.
the ace.
So,
Hylissang is running away.
they have minions now. They have 9 seconds on Samux, 20 seconds on Exile. Those 2 carries are dead. And then Chachi dead for 50 seconds. Should be enough for Misfits now to push into the base.
Oh, this is so much damage.
They still have minions now.
Hylissang and Samux, the only one up. Crystal Arrow is still available. It's a 5-on-2 and GA on Alphari.
You have some Voidlings as well to help you here when it comes to the turret. This is zoning ulti from Ansama. Just go for the turret if you want.
All right, cancels the curtain call.
Okay, go for him.
Exile's already down. He just respawned. Not going to be enough. Crystal Arrow onto Kakao. Power of Evil is exhausted. Misfits don't care. They turn their attention to the Nexus, gaining the kills, getting the base, and Misfits defeat the Unicorns.
Game 3. Misfits got the early advantage. They got the Malzahar again for Ignar. Such a key pick in game 1. And while Unicorns fell super far behind and we thought it was going to be another game 1, we got that Baron steal from Xerxes. And we got the arrow from Samax that gave them... So not only did they get Baron, they got 2 inhibs as well. And it was like, damn. Like, Misfits are winning, but they're not, like, really winning because they just lost so many things. Fights, though, whenever it was pure 5-on-5s.
Yeah.
I think the value of the Malzahar against no QSSs and Kakao's performance on Lee Sin just put it in favor of Misfits.
9-0-11 for Kakao at the end of that game.
Holy moly.
Time and time again finding targets. We also just caught a glimpse of Power of Evil just hugging the Unicorns of Love as he went down the line. Some great sportsmanship. One of his old teams, of course.
His first professional team.
And Misfits will be playing Origin later in the weekend. Power of Evil will actually be playing both
all the
of his
old ones.
old teams. It was an entertaining, exciting series.
Yep, I loved it.
But the problems that we're seeing for Unicorns of Love, their weaker early game, it is really becoming a bigger problem.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Against the top teams, it is becoming a big problem. I think the top lane matchup here, which is never going to go in favor of Chachi against both Renekton and Lee Sin.
Yeah.
And Misfits have shown in game 1 how they can snowball around Alphari very effectively. Like, that's one of the cool things about him as a rookie, is that on tanks he was doing just fine. But he doesn't even like tanks. He is a split-pushing top lane. He's a carry top laner. So now that the meta is shifting away from things like Maokai, it should make Alphari even better. And we saw Misfits utilize it. That is scary.
Even better for a top laner who was already performing exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Showing up, delivering every game. Alphari is one of the guys that Misfits rely on.
Yes.
You very rarely see decisions or outplays where you go, what were you thinking? What was that? And Alphari is... he showed it this series.
I think also just like with Misfits, you know, there's been so many discussions around like imports and so on. Like Kakao and Ignar has been 2 of the most successful Koreans we have seen come to Europe.
Yep.
And it's play in the LCS. Obviously, Ignar was already here in Challenger with Misfits, and Kakao joined now for the LCS split. But both these guys are able to adapt to the team. Like there were even this movie from Misfits, you know, they follow Kakao around. Like it's great to see Kakao. Like it's great to see him like adapt as well. And in game, like, it just seems like there is very little miscommunication between them and the rest of the guys.
This is a team that looks like a team. They're growing, they're communicating, they're not different parts working together as 5.
No, I agree.
Anyways, for a closer look on that 2-1 victory, Pyro's on stage with the man at the top.